is the North End. This is the North End.
Hi everyone, it's the 5 things we learned from Liverpool versus Watford. Sorry I'm late with this. I was actually running a Disney run in Florida on the weekend. Managed to do it without stopping, so I'll take it. But just going to jump into this because we do want to get this out before Liverpool play tonight in the Champions League. So here we go. Number one, Liverpool are going into this run and they're playing individual matches, not the run in itself. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, Watford are more organised than they were when we beat them 5-0 earlier this season. But you know what? I think people think that we could have still beaten them better than we did. It was at home. We're coming back from the international break with the tails between our legs. But for what? You know, we have a big week coming up. And our players also had a lot of minutes in their legs from the international break. So this was a chance to somewhat ease into it. So a very professional performance. So like, it's not about the run-in. It's not about trying to get like 3 games ahead or any of those things. Liverpool are just going to play all the individual matches as they come and see what happens. And the thing is, that's actually what has got us into this position where we've been able to pull back this 14-point lead. So yeah, don't expect anything crazy. Whether you're a Liverpool fan or a neutral watching our games, don't expect us to be putting teams to the sword like we did earlier this season. I think things are going to be very professional from this point on. And it's just what's the minimum we need to do to get to the next level. Point number 2, pains me to say this, but Mo Salah continues to struggle a little bit towards this part of the season. And, you know, I think the consensus is he's in his own head a little bit. Now, look, Salah has to play regardless of what kind of form he's in, as crazy as that sounds, because what he does to the opposition defense, and you saw it, you saw Camara, and I think it was Samir doubling up on him. That doesn't really happen with anyone other than Mo Salah. So effectively, whether Mo plays well or not, if you don't count the goalkeepers, you're kind of playing 8 versus 9, with Salah always having 2 people on him. So Mo has to continue to play, but what we're learning is this is a bit of a blip that he's going through this season. He's a mere mortal like the rest of us. It would help Liverpool if he comes out of it, but yes, Saturday wasn't plain sailing for him and it wasn't easy viewing. Also, he seems to need Trent too, because in that double team system, Trent actually is able to take another person at times on him. Even though Trent is able to play inside, when he does go outside, that defers the attention a little bit. So, I feel like we learned that again this weekend, which leads us to point number 3, which is Joe Gomez. Now, we learned that Gomez can be an adequate replacement for Trent. With Trent's injury, now I do think it was an injury, not an injury, as he didn't play. But the thing is, what is interesting about this is when all the cliches about Trent's defensive capabilities or incapabilities were being born, which are completely wrong, and that's a question for another time. But while they were doing their rounds, many people, definitely outside, but even inside the Liverpool fan base, saw Joe Gomez as a defensive right-back option. So if you've got an amazing left winger playing for a team, if you're going to try to be a bit more defensive in that area, play Gomez instead of Trent. Now, that didn't work out because Trent is actually not a bad defender at all. And he's obviously one of the greatest Premier League fullbacks going forward. So where did that leave Joe Gomez? Well, he was a mainstay of the team that won the league. Matip played more in the year we won the Champions League. But at this point, it feels like Joe Matip is the primary defender for the Premier League and Van Dijk's main partner. Konate is not just the chosen one for the future. He's also a person we've spent a lot of money on. And also, Jurgen really loves him in the Champions League. So Gomez can actually potentially get more minutes here in the right back slot as he continues to wait patiently, if he chooses to wait patiently for his chance in the center of defense. Anyway, what we learned this weekend is he ain't going to let us down. he's not Trent. He's not going to be Trent, but he actually played a really good game. And that cross is once again another segue into our point number 4. Point number 4 is Diogo Jota is ready for this run-in. Now, what can you say about this man? I actually heard a stat this week that he's made more decisive goal breakthroughs than Luis Suarez did in that 2013-2014 season. Don't quote me. I don't know that to be true. I didn't fact check it. But just the fact that somebody said that means that you can just get to see just how effective and efficient Diogo Jota is. The crazy thing is, if you just look at our last 3 games, he scored the breakthrough goal against Arsenal. He scored the one in the FA Cup against Forest as well. And he set up a goal for Portugal in their playoff final. So Diogo's on fire. I'm here for it. Liverpool fans are here for it. And it's going to be very, very promising to see what happens as this now unfolds. Number 5, Fabinho. He's going to go down as an all-time Liverpool great. Yeah, he didn't brand the defensive midfielder role like Makelele, like it was the Makelele position. But you know what? I'd personally have no one else in front of my back 4 in Liverpool's history in the Premier League era. He has at this point definitely eclipsed a very effective Dietmar Hamann and a world-class Javi Mascherano. Like Mascherano was playing at a very, very high standard that we hadn't necessarily seen as Liverpool fans in that defensive midfield position. And people will talk about the penalty, which was just so cool, but the impact when he came on for Jones, he kind of wrestled control back for us. Did Watford have a couple of chances later on? Of course they did. You know, it was a 1-0 Premier League game. That's always going to happen, but things seem better with Fabinho in the team. And yeah, I kind of feel like he's also just from the start of the year, including goal scoring, actually, he's just gone on to a new level, which we definitely need running through the spine of the team. And finally, I'm actually going to throw in a very quick number 6 for you, number 6. And that's a shout out to the man of the match from Saturday, who didn't even get a shout out yet, which was Thiago Alcantara. We all know it in the football world. He's an absolute baller. Showed how you run a game from the midfield, something I still think is kind of missing from English football. A man with that much technique and that much poise and class. It's not very common. If you get a chance to watch him, either live or even on TV, just watch what he does. And people will continually talk about something that didn't work out or a pass that didn't go right, because the man takes risks, doesn't really play it safe, always got his eyes open. He's got the wing mirrors, as those Barcelona maestros do, the Barcelona School of Football maestros do, but he's also got that pass. He's also painting the pictures ahead of him to see what's happening. True pleasure to watch him. Absolutely love Thiago in the team. I'm not sure if he's going to play against Benfica, because we really do need him in the big one. Anyway, that's the 5.5 things that we learned on Saturday. I'm excited to do this next one for you, because the next one will be what happened after the Manchester City game. Have a good one.
This is the North End. This is the North End.